Welcome to GMT. I'm Lucy Hockings. We start in Yemen, where extreme hunger and disease are killing around 130 children a day. The United Nations is now warning that the catastrophic humanitarian crisis is worsening, and unless aid is let in, millions more lives are at risk. The Saudi-led coalition tightened its 2-year blockade of the country after a ballistic missile was fired at Riyadh by rebel forces backed by Iran. We have a special report for you now with disturbing scenes from our correspondent Clive Murray, who is in Yemen.
This is a story about war and its humiliations, the stripping of dignity. But it's also about the desert trek to safety. It's a story of survival. There's panic at a school in the Yemeni capital Sana'a, a city under Houthi rebel control. A Saudi coalition airstrike targeting a nearby building has blown out the school's windows. In this conflict, death can come from the air at any time, for kids as well as soldiers. What began as a civil war has become a proxy struggle between Saudi Arabia, backing Yemen's government, and Iran, alleged to be backing the rebels. The Houthis claim this is a bomb from the attack that didn't explode. Several countries, including the UK and America, have sold billions of pounds worth of weapons to Saudi Arabia during this war. Apart from arms dealers, this conflict has no winners, and civilians are the biggest losers. Imagine what those displaced by the war are running from, if this is what they're running to. Dusty makeshift desert settlements across Yemen, home to 3 million people and counting. But it's a pitiful existence in a place like this, in the middle of a pitiless war. Only the most basic shelter protects from the unrelenting sun and the sand of the desert. Yemen, already the Arab world's poorest nation, is now on its knees. An estimated 7 million people are facing starvation. This is a man-made calamity that shames the world.
The war here has created so much misery, with lives disrupted and destroyed, and the recent escalation of the conflict means that many more people will be relying on the kindness of strangers just to survive.
Ansaya Ali Ahmed and little Aisha, who's 7 months old, fled their home the night the bombs fell.
It was like thunder and lightning in the sky. We were scared and took our children, but left everything else behind. We don't have food. Our men don't have jobs. They go to market looking for work, but when they come back with nothing, the children cry.
Aden is one of the ports at the end of an aid pipeline that helps sustain more than 21 million people here. That's 3/4 of the population. But it's a precarious humanitarian operation, as Saudi Arabia controls Yemen's borders. A blockade has already seriously affected aid flowing into ports in rebel-held areas in the north, and the harbour at Aden here in the south can be shut down at a moment's notice.
Saudi Arabia says sealing this country's borders will cut the flow of weapons to rebel forces. But aid shipments can be searched and verified, so why prevent all goods coming into Yemen? While using aid as a weapon of war is nothing new in this conflict.
The Houthi rebels have themselves been accused of blocking aid convoys, so despite warehouses full of food, millions are at risk of starvation. Aid workers acknowledge this is a dirty war where both sides have questions to answer.
They have their own tactics to use the aid we are bringing into the people, either to prevent it from people or give it to the people that they favor, and for sure that is how they use the aid. And if we cannot reach people to give them this food, then definitely they will die.
Civilians in this war are forgotten people, pawns in a great game, victims of a conflict they didn't create. They've done nothing wrong. Their only crime was being born here. Clive Myrie, BBC News in southern Yemen.